Should be fine.
So far, it's gotta get my permit now. I didn't know what all it come with. One of them was
Once you get finished,
wired up.
she has time of 50.
I've been tinkering with
Make
it.
sure you use that app and get your best spot or whatever.
Yeah, I just put a spot, I just picked a spot up in the yard right now and put it, screwed it to a big old, that's in that little bed frame.
Yeah.
Screwed it to it right now, wait for the other permanent.
She's probably ready for it to be over. She is.
Now.
She is. I'm trying to measure
Curious to know
tonight
what
to
your
see
speeds
which
do.
vehicle.
I mean, mine vary anywhere
besides
from
mine
50
is
to 100.
Right now, I got like almost 200
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And chances are the way they say it's going to.
What phones do you have to do?
I don't for Starlink,
What kind of miles?
110 right now, but I think. once I
Okay,
get
call meeting order.
ready-
Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All right, Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Now I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make it.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. The motion to approve the minutes of the county board meeting held on April 11, 2023.
Second.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. At this time, do you have any guests for public comment? Okay. Mr. Black? Mike?
I'm not in public comments. I'm actually last on the agenda, but I asked the speaker first because I have a 7:30 appointment. So, this is on the ambulance and the SSA. The SSA met and we redid the contract to show the 22-22-16 like we agreed to last month. And we made the contract, our state's attorney, Brian, does have a copy of it now to look at it. Monday night, the ambulance service is going to be meeting and they're going to go through the approval process. The following Monday, the SSA is going to have a meeting and we're going to go through, collecting it and looking at it. And since they approved it or want to amend it, we'll look at that point in time. And then we'll prepare to the next board meeting to give it to you guys so you can bless off on it and sign off on it. Then they'll have to take it back and they'll have to sign off on it to make it a full-fledged contract. I got the financials from the Tooele Area Ambulance Service for the month of April. No big surprises. Basically some expenses for the new ambulance. The Neoga Fire District had 4 runs, 2 Medicare and 2 public aid, and was paid $700. The Village of Greenup had a total of 12 with 8 Medicare and 4 Medicaid runs. So a total of 16 runs. As I said, the rest of the money is for the ambulance that's spent. So we're still sitting okay. Still have money to continue with the contract like we agreed to between Neoga and Greenup. Okay. I also met with Beverly and did some scenarios saying 22-22-16 is going to take the contract now to $89,877. Okay, instead of $58,000, that was the old contract was. So that's what they're going to get in September. It's $89,877, give or take, in case of valuation changes. In October, November, whenever the new valuations come out from the tax assessors, the SSA has already discussed this, and we're going to propose 22 cents across the board, area 1, 2, and 3. And if that is something that we can do, well, how would that impact this? Instead of $89,000 in September of 2024, they'd receive $114,270. Is there a lot of difference in money? No, it's not. It's still got to bear in mind that they have a lot of expenses, startup expenses, payroll expenses, you know, and when we collect Medicaid, we collect Medicare, we're not collecting a lot of money. So is this tax money important? Yes, it is. But it's something that we can monitor as we go along. Kyle asked me to look at how much revenue we're going to get from Medicare, Medicaid in the past 12 months. I'm still working on that, Kyle. Okay, I'll promise to get that to you. But I'm saying we don't have nursing home, we don't have an interstate, so we have to depend on taxes. We have to depend upon the return on the runs, and they're very, very minimal. So I'm going to continue to push that just to not do it from 0 to 60 in a split second, but stair step it like it should have been done in the past 10 years. Sorry, I'm just telling you, it should have been done over time. And instead of 1983 to 2023. So that's all I've got. Somebody has any questions?
Any questions? I have.
Any luck on hiring?
I'm sorry?
Any luck on hiring?
Yeah, we got,
hired. We're just waiting for the state to come down and inspect the ambulance.
Cool.
Yep.
You
We got
got,
them all hired.
how many, you got 4?
4 and 3 part-time.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Eric.
And Mike? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, and everybody else for public comment or guest at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. At this point, I need a motion to reappoint Mike Oakley as the Commissioner of the Housing Authority for a 5-year term.
Make motion.
Second.
Shannon Bowles, second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, next, I need a motion to reappoint Duff Sowers to Greenup Fire Protection District for a 3-year term.
I'll move it.
John Wade.
Second.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, next, I need a motion to approve a jurisdictional transfer with the IDOT. This is, our county engineer is not here. This has to do with a single blacktop. Some reason was belonged to the state. And we weren't going, it's supposed to belong to the county, so we want to transfer that back to us. It should be
Like
done on time.
Make a motion to table that. Got some more questions for Dick, and it's wordy. I think that we can do better.
And I'd like to second that.
Want to table it? Oh, that should be no problem. All right. Okay. We have a motion and a second to table it.
Okay. Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, discuss and take action on changing the time of the June 13th meeting. I just informed that we do not have to change the time for that meeting. Everything can work out, so we'll leave the date at the hour of the time. It was going to be changed to, I think, 8 o'clock. We'll leave that 7 o'clock every other meeting, so just ignore that. Okay? Discuss and take action on administrator for animal control. Mark, Kyle, you want to comment, or should I explain it, or what? By law, every county has to have an administrator, and Walton Harmon sold. Sam was our administrator for 38 years, did a fantastic job. Right now, he is in the shadows as an administrator. He does have an off-the-peak clause for our county, so he can no longer be that, so he'd like to get out of it. I checked with the State Department of Ag, and there is a few other counties that allows the warden to be the administrator as well. I do feel that we need a vet in this county if we could. Talked to Bernie. Bernie said that he would be an assistant administrator and or administrator if we wanted him to. He works for Effingham County Vet now. And Effingham County runs their animal control a lot different than Sam does or we do here. They're a non-kill rescue. They save squirrels, possums, cats, and we don't have that kind of facility. Bernie is a fantastic vet. He has been my large animal vet on my farm ever. He's never been in the administrative side of animal control, as far as the laws or anything such as that. I'm sure he could learn, but he gave his notice of 2 years when they sold, so he's got about 1.5 years left. So I would go ahead and take the task on to be the administrator if the Lord wants that, or if they don't, I'd be happy with whatever choice they want to make.
Okay, Mark. Yes, we have a letter here in our page 17 from Ellen Park Ag that says that Mark could be the administrator and Bernie Harmon could be the second in command, I guess. I also talked to Bernie Harmon. He's willing to work with us on this. So if it's everybody okay with everyone else, then we will go that route. Mark Howard will be the administrator and Bernie Harmon will be a veterinary for backup, and we should be legal.
So I'll make a motion to make Mark the administrator and the backup veterinarian.
I'll second that.
Bernie Harmon, backup veterinarian. Okay, have a motion in a second.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes, I forgot there's no additional increase in wage.
Holkenbrink,
Yes.
Wasn't expected, but I accepted it.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, Mark, that'll work. That'll work.
Thank you.
Okay, next we discuss the action on the Veterans Memorial. We discussed this last meeting, and at the meeting, I had more questions, and the other two had more questions, so we want to revisit this. And, Tanya, Craig, you got any comments first, or you want me to talk, or what do you think?
I just provided everybody what you had asked. There's the phase plan that we have, and of course, that's subject to change. I corrected the layouts of the lands because on that one side, they didn't move it in like they should, so I drew the correct lines. The center stone, everybody kept asking, where's the center stone, where's the bronze going? So I attached that information. So I don't know what else.
Okay. So you changed the diagram of the. last meeting.
Just what we had talked about when we
That's
met.
fine. That's fine.
And then, of course, we're working on the contract in our meetings Thursday night, and then we'll have that for you next month.
Okay, well, we're putting up this memorial, and I think this 5-star memorial will look good out on the courthouse. But then the question is, do we add all these other things to it, like the 911 piece from the Twin Towers, and they also mentioned bringing come over by the Life Center. There's several stones they'll move over here. I'm just afraid it may get too cluttered. So what I would like to do is I would like to have you build this memorial, both sidewalks, the flag poles, and the lights on it, and then we'll take a look at it and decide if we need any more or that's that. Another thing I do not I don't think I liked all this landscaping, because that runs into a lot of maintenance.
Okay, so I explained that to you before, Floyd, that this design was made by Pyramid, and then Beckman and them at Milano and Grunlow carried it over. It's got the circle around the outside because we have to have the lights in the ground. And so for the flagpoles, and it's federal law, we have to have them lit. But if they're sticking up, somebody's going to hit them with a weed eater, somebody's going to kick it, trip on it, somebody's going to hit it with a lawnmower and all that. So they drew around it just as an idea because we don't know how they're going to do the wiring. And so that may not be it exactly, it may be less. When they put that bigger version on the other day when I was leaning across Janet and I was trying to say they didn't shrink it down because I'd already went to them 3 times to do things and they did it for free. And so I wasn't going to ask them to go back and shrink one line down when we knew that it wasn't that wide. It was just their mistake, and I wasn't going to ask them to, for the fourth time, reprint everything for us, because that was something simple that we could take care of ourselves. But it's there as just an idea, because we don't know where the lights are going to be stuck in the ground. We don't know where they're going to place them until they're putting the wiring in. So, but we have to have something around them, because they're not going to be in the concrete. Because if something goes wrong with the concrete light, they'll have to possibly take out the concrete to fix whatever went wrong. So they're doing it in the ground alongside. And so to protect the stuff, we have the idea to put some landscaping
Well, I
around
mean,
it.
your wire would be ran in conduit, so you can
Right.
pull it. Even if something went bad with the wiring, you can pull it back through the conduit with new wire.
Well,
And your lights that can be recessed into the concrete, I mean, I've seen it at other locations where it is recessed into the concrete. If we do like landscaping rock and people's gonna be walking through it, it's more apt to trip.
it's like
And
mostly the idea is underneath the flagpoles where the bench is and the stadium chair. This other is most likely not going to happen. She whited that out. And then around the outside of it is just because they don't know where they were. That was what Pyramid did. That's not even, that's what they came up with, not us. So, and the other sidewalk has only where the park memorial is, just that little hump around on the side of it, because the stones down there are actually set in the landscaping. They're not set on concrete except for the center stone. The other ones are set, they're made for setting on, unless we pour little pads and then we have stones set out in your yard. So we just did a little curve to set them in that.
Why isn't this going at the Legion and it's going at the courthouse instead?
There's no room at the Legion, especially if they put in that park and then they rebuild the Legion as
It
they
was
have.
never planned because it's Cumberland County. So it's the county memorial, not the Toledo American Legion Memorial. It's for the entire county. So it was, permission was given to put it on the county courthouse so that it was for everybody. And there's not somebody saying, well, it's on the Legion, it's the Legions. It's the entire county.
It could still be everybody's at the Toledo Legion.
Lori Clapp had originally given when she came years ago.
It was my idea and everybody agreed to it because of when I started it. When I started it, it was because when my brother went to Iraq, there was no signs up anywhere for any of the guys that was in Iraq for Effingham Company. And so I asked the village, I asked the county if we could put signs up with the guys' names. And I was told, well, the village of Toledo only owns half of the poles. You'll have to ask Ameren. So I asked Ameren, and I was told by Ameren, if you put anything on our poles, we'll pull it down. And I'm like, well, that's a waste of $30 a sign if you're going to rip down the signs. But we need to do something because Green Up's got stuff, Neoga's got stuff, everybody's got stuff, but Toledo's not supporting their community guys that are at war. And so I came to the board and I asked, well, they didn't have it in the meeting. They did a phone call amongst each other and they came back to me and said, you can do this, but it cannot be permanent and it can only be for the guys that are there now. And I said, well, I can't really do it for just them because they're Persian Gulf guys that have already been over there. So if I do it for just now, I'm excluding the guys that have been there in the past and you're going to have a problem. They said, okay, that's it. No others. So I went, I did the one up on the square. I was heckled. I had somebody screaming and cussing me out because somebody of their family wasn't included on it because they weren't over there. Put it up and I'm like, okay, I feel like that we need to do something permanent because I feel bad that we're excluding people. Then I had a mother from Vietnam call me that told me she wanted to put her son's name on that monument. And I had to tell a Vietnam mother whose son died in battle know that I could not put her son's name on it. And every time I talk about it, it makes me bawl because I had to listen to this woman cry. And I had to explain that it was not my choice. I would put everybody's name. And I said, baby steps, I'm working on it. And I have worked this long because I made a promise to a mother or her son. And I was including everybody. And we have went all the way back to the American Revolutionary War. And we have a Revolutionary War person to put on that. But it's for everybody in the county. And when I went back to the board, because I took my baby steps and I asked for a permanent one, they agreed that we could put a permanent one up there to include everybody. But the best place to put it would be on the county courthouse yard because it was the county monument.
And I remember that. I was here and we did agree to that, but we agreed to this one particular thing. And since then, you have brought in 3 other items.
Well, we agreed and voted on that we would do something with the artillery piece. But because it wasn't coming in, I took the liberty to see if I could write a letter, and somebody replied, and they gave us a piece of steel from New York from 9/11.
But how does that represent Cumberland County? I mean, I
What
don't
is-
know.
We went to war over it.
What would a piece of artillery, what would a helicopter? I mean, they went, that's what they're representing. I mean,
I would just like to stick to the original agreement, and you've already worked 18 or 19 years on getting funding for this. Let's get this accomplished. Let's see what it looks like on the courthouse yard before we start adding a bunch of other stuff.
well, then we have to go back and add more electric. We have to add more concrete. And so your electric's going to cost you more because every time you put somebody that's an electrician on there, we have to pay prevailing wage. So if we have to redo stuff for the
But you're
electric,
not going to be doing it right now, so it's going to save you money right now.
we were going to do it. As
Yeah,
soon as
but
we do
electric
the
on
electric,
first.
we're doing the electric and the
To
concrete,
this particular part, yes.
to the whole thing. And the concrete. We have the money for the concrete and the electric.
And the flagpole, right?
And we have the flagpoles bought.
So why don't we put up the memorial and the flagpoles and lights on them? Why would you need any more electric for after that? Why would you need more after that, after you get lights on the
Well, if we
flag?
move that one down there, there's a light for it.
Well,
And then if we put the 9/11, you have to put lights on it. I would think you would want your 9/11 piece lit up so
Right.
that people aren't doing stuff to it. They can have
You
stuff.
could add electricity, to those 2 items fairly cheap, I think. You've got electricity there already, so that's why I'd like to stay with that. First
And your
one.
9/11 is gonna draw in tourism. It's gonna bring money to the county
Mm.
because nobody else has this piece around here. So you're gonna draw people into our county.
Why are we backtracking since we agreed on it last month? Now we're going back again.
Well,
I'm sorry. I've just never seen anything so indecisive in my life when you agree to it and then you backtrack. And then this is what happened with the ambulance. You agreed to something, then you backtrack, then you kick something back. And it's nitpicking. It's
Okay.
nitpicking
for
now.
one thing, the diagram showed us last meeting was incorrect, right?
I was explaining to them that it was not that large.
Well,
So
how
I
can
brought a
we-
line in.
How can we
2
sign a
foot.
contract or a vote on it that's not set in stone?
And what type of tree is a survivor tree?
It's an elm,
An elm.
American elm. And probably when it gets here, it'll be this tall because it's being shipped from Oklahoma. So it's not going to be putting out any limbs for 20 years probably.
Okay, I thought you told us ash last time.
No, it's an elm.
But this could all be added later if we really want to, right? The back
Sure, I'll
street,
keep on working on it.
there's nothing to work on. Let's get this first done, and then we'll take a look at it, okay?
Whatever.
Could I have a motion to that effect?
You do whatever you want.
I'll make a motion to stick to the original plan, and that's the 5-star and the flags in the center.
Okay. We have a motion to that effect. Anybody want to second that
So it's
motion?
taking this out, right? Is that it? then? Is that-
What's that, Kyle?
Just taking out this side piece?
Well,
here?
no, he wants to do the original. So if it's the
I can't
original,
remember what.
if the original is, you take out the other sidewalk, because we would be moving out
You're taking out,
the park thing. So you take out that sidewalk.
yep, take out
So we'd
that.
have to go back in and pour more concrete. And then if we take out the other, it's the
This-
9/11 thing.
This is concrete.
That's original.
So if we take that out, we're taking out all
You
this.
just remember this sidewalk and this
Star here.
and wherever the flags, I'm having a hard time, the flags sit. There's the state flag and the US flags, flags are all
Right.
on the side.
This is
Yeah,
where the
Taking
9/11
out that, taking out that.
Mhm.
I think we should still keep the 9/11 thing in there for sure, because I agree, that's gonna draw tourism in. It's gonna help local businesses, big or small, either way.
The idea for moving the park one is because nobody's going to be taking care of it.
And I agree
and they'll
with
be-
you on that.
And they'll be not going to it. So why waste it and then it just sit down there?
Who-
and
who'll
then-
be taking
How do you
care of
say
it?
no one's gonna take care of it?
Who's gonna be taking care of
I'm
it?
taking
Terry's the
care of
one
it
that
for
takes care of it
free.
now, the Legion does not.
I
Yeah,
take care of
Are you
it
saying you're not gonna take care of it if it stays over there?
for free? No. Why, why would I divide my time between taking care of all of these monuments?
yeah.
Well,
there
and
is
the thing is, we don't all live forever. So let's say you pass away and then our.
I guess you're gonna have everything in the world going down there unless somebody else is paying for it, because I'm doing it for free.
And then we're gonna
I'm
have.
taking care of the
our
one up there for free.
Maintenance guy taking care of it. He's already, running out hours based on what we've given him.
No, trust me, all those flags that have been put on it for all those years, me. The landscaping that was taken care of, me.
Well, who's gonna do it after you're done?
I don't know, that's why I'm trying to combine everything.
Well, this is on
Well,
county
someone's gonna
property.
do it.
So
and then
do
we
you have
can
a
step
right,
with it.
do you have a right to do maintenance on our county property though?
It was always agreed, they agreed when they did it,
Yeah.
that I would take care of it.
We should put it at
And
the
I've kept
Legion.
my promise. I keep my word.
And Board and I had talked about a contract being drawn up. I have to bring it to the auxiliary board. And in there says the auxiliary will take care of replacing the lights, the flags, and the names. You guys are responsible for, of course, the insurance, because it's gonna be on county property, any mowing around it, and the light bill. And it's good for 100 years. That's what I am proposing to the auxiliary. So once this is done, it falls back on to the American Legion Auxiliary.
So all costs associated with this fall back on the auxiliary,
Auxiliary and the monument.
Replacing the light.
all costs.
No,
Maintenance.
we're paying electric and,
We're paying electricity.
It's minimal. They said, the electrician said, if we would put in a separate pole, we wouldn't even draw enough electricity from the dawn to dusk to even make the minimum.
Yeah.
With the way the lights are now.
I don't have a problem with the county paying the electric bill. I don't have a problem with that. So basically, the Legion's gonna pay for
Not the
flag.
Legion, the auxiliary.
whoever, for new flags,
Well, we're gonna make it, we're gonna make this correct, you know, who's paying for it?
new flags and putting names on the stones.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
that's-
trying to understand on.
The
on this
auxiliaries
side
over the
piece.
monument account and the monument, the whole thing.
On this side piece here, you said it costs more, take more. If you just squared that off there, how's it, and we look at it then and decide to come back to do this? why-
Well, then we
why
have
would
to
that
have
be
the
an issue?
electrician come back in and do it, and they may have to change how it's hooked up. Instead of running it, it may come from here this way, and then they'd have to run another one to add it.
But we don't know for sure, right?
Well, no, because I've just been handed that
Right.
idea that now we're going to, so now I gotta get new estimates. So, hey, here we go.
So that's the only part off the original, other than,
No, he wants to get rid of the 9/11 too.
right, the 9/11 and this, right?
Mhm.
I agree with Todd. I think the 9/11 is wrong.
Well, sure, I paid for it.
I mean, I just.
No,
think that
I'm,
it does.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Hey, you know,
She's agreeing with you.
I know. I'm not mad at you, Jan.
We do have a motion. Do we have a second?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Bob.
When, each time there's been a change to this monument, this is just a question I have. If each time this monument's been changed, have they not come and asked about the change? And has the board not approved the change? Has it not been voted on?
Probably it has.
So what's the problem tonight?
Well, they didn't explain at the last meeting that there was gonna be all kinds of landscaping around this here, and landscaping is a lot of maintenance. They didn't explain that, they just showed us a picture. It's
I
pretty
said
hard to,
that was a line for
Okay,
landscaping.
but if it's the landscaping, why are we sitting here discussing taking this piece out and that piece out, and two pieces here? And I'm not trying to be a problem, but I would say, okay, then we're talking about taking out the landscape. I'm with you, I don't understand what's going on, because I haven't seen, since they started, I haven't seen all of what's been brought here. I'm just wondering why we're sitting here tonight discussing the whole, everything that's been voted on in the past. Unless we're amending the whole project. And I don't know, you'd have to explain, can that be done? But I don't know. I guess that's my question.
Be a lot easier if it were at the Legion.
Well, I don't think that that's the case, because the Legion is one club of the Veterans Organization. You go to Greenup, you got the Legion and the VFW. And not everybody in the county goes to the Legion. My dad's name is gonna be on there, and I'd like to come up here to the county courthouse and see my father's name up here.
I mean, the courthouse does represent the county.
That's
seat, which is
exactly right. It does represent the whole county.
Nothing against it, it's the Legion, but I just think it belongs.
Because Neoga's got veterans organizations also. Excuse me. I'm with Janet. I think it needs to be here at the courthouse. And that wasn't my intention, was to bring that up. I just was curious as to why we've approved things in the past, and then tonight we're sitting here talking about taking them and changing them back out. I didn't understand.
I think it's like house plans. You look at something and then you go back, maybe not.
Well,
Should change that.
and that could be. I don't understand everything about everything.
You're trying to visualize this, and without actually seeing it, you gotta try to visualize it. And that's why Floyd was recommending doing it in stages. And if you decide you want to add more to it, and that looks great, yeah, that'll look great, then yeah, you can come back to the table and say, approve it. I think.
Where the 9/11 piece is gonna go, that was always in the plan.
Right,
because it was
I'm
gonna
not
be a
disagreeing, I'm
military
not
plan.
disagreeing with that piece. This side piece, I think that if the contractors that are doing it know that that's a potential, they should be able to run it for that if decide to do that side piece. So,
Well, it is just put a junction box right there.
right, I don't think that would be.
Leave it with the potential to add on.
Right, I don't think that would be that huge of an issue. Not saying not doing it, but that's going in stages. Do that whole piece first and see what that looks like.
And you're still fulfilling your promise. I mean, I don't disagree with you that needs to come up here at some point. But to meet halfway, you get your promise fulfilled. Yep.
Why can't we agree on, if you don't like the drawing for landscaping, we can discuss the landscaping when the lights are put in. If it all goes down to this nitpick for landscaping, we can discuss the landscaping when it's time to put it in. I'm the one putting it in.
And this is on the southwest side, right?
It's across from the IGA.
Yeah, thought.
Where's the IJ building at?
And once there will be taken out now,
Um,
that little
Billy Chambers, yes.
Yes, on the landscaping, I understand why there might be a problem with the gravel. Cause you can throw a rock and bust out a windshield, I get that, cause we get grass on our cars now, so I get that. Isn't there a pedestal that you can put the lights on that's up the ground, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 feet? That's like this, and you put the lights on top of it, that way you don't have to have the rock around it. Wouldn't that take care of that?
I don't believe the poles are made for that, because I think you have to run the wiring into it.
I'm talking about lights, not the
I know,
light
but the
poles.
wiring for the light. Are you talking about solar lights?
No, they're electric.
Then they have to be wired inside it, doesn't it?
Well, they'll have
They
conduit
come
in
up
the,
through it.
yeah.
But they have to cut a hole in the pole.
No, it comes up underneath the middle.
Yeah.
Most poles I've seen, the concrete. Electric conduit comes right up through the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then it has a conduit running up the pole.
Yeah. If you got a light on the pole, I don't know what you've got, boy.
Well, you told
I
me
don't
the pole, the light, that's how come I asked you the
No,
other
the
day.
lights are in the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
right,
there's
so I
no
don't-
pole on the light. It was set on this pedestal.
So you're talking about putting something on the pole.
No, it's about this tall and the light would sit on top of it. The wiring would come up through it to this light.
So it sticks up out of the ground 1.5 feet.
Mhm.
So we'll have to price that then.
We can price
But
it.
Well, you
get rid of
want
the
something
gravel,
that's gonna
get rid of
be-
the gravel,
Well, then we
what
can
I'm
put-
saying.
You just
Stout.
put mulch it.
You don't
You've
want
already
something
got that
sticking in the
gravel up
rock
there around
because
the
people gonna
courthouse.
kick it, stand on it, whatever else.
If you've already got that rock around the courthouse, it's already up there.
But they don't mow that. It's on the inside sidewalk. They don't mow it. They don't take lawnmower to that.
Also, I was heard that Walking Nursery's gonna put shrubbery in the landscape area. Is that true?
Walkie said they would donate shrubs years ago. If they still hold to that promise, then I would get some shrubs to put in there, so it's just not rock around wherever the things are. I wasn't going to throw in a jungle, but put a few plants that was in there, no maintenance. There's stuff that you can get that don't have any trimming. That was what we had thought about when we discussed doing stuff, was no maintenance plants. If they don't donate it, I was willing to buy it and put them in, but I wasn't putting in a jungle. It was just something to make it look attractive or nice, so you're not just sitting there.
I think the stones alone are gonna be attractive and nice.
I do too. I like this memorial, that look like, just
Whatever.
by itself, I like it look good. It serves the purpose.
Should we
Well-
table this?
I had a motion on the
Well,
floor.
thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Right, Bob. I got a motion on the floor with no second. Anybody want to second this motion? We can table it, but it won't be any different next month. I know of that. If there's not a second, I guess we will. Well, what should we do, Todd? We'll table this one?
If we don't second it, it dies because no one seconded it.
Right, my motion dies.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you
Okay. So
can
we just
still
have no-
do
You still get
table, or
something
you
else.
can go ahead and approve the original motion, or amend it.
Okay, we have no motion on the
But
floor.
I mean, you're adding a lot of stuff that eventually, no matter what they say they're gonna maintain, I mean, eventually our maintenance guy's gonna either have to rake leaves or, you know, they've already got like those gumballs over there like crazy that they have to gumballs rake up. I mean, there's no use adding more maintenance.
Where do they come from?
I've kept them.
Oklahoma.
No, is
Bradford
there a
Bears
football
will be
tree
good.
over there?
Yeah, sweet gums.
Sweet gums.
Got some of your,
Star leaf, they're pretty tree.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
There's gonna be
until
maintenance.
you start
There's
complaining
gonna be
about it.
maintenance, it's gonna cost us some, yeah.
So how many hours does the maintenance guy have? I mean, is it like a
Not
40
enough.
thing, is it part-time or?
We
20
got him
hours.
to set under the 1,000 hours a year so that he does not qualify for retirement. IMR, and that's it.
So how long is that gonna last with him? Do we, I mean, that,
Change tomorrow. You may hire new firms for next year.
Well, I'm gonna bring,
I don't know
I'm
the
gonna
man,
bring
so I'm
that
just
up here a little
asking.
bit later on. When we get down on the agenda a little further, I was gonna bring that up under, it's not on the agenda, but I was gonna give a little speech on, buildings and grounds.
Is that motion dead?
It is dead.
that's dead, nobody seconded it.
Can I make a motion to take off this side piece only? And we can revisit that after this is done. So everything will stay except for that side piece.
Which side piece you talking about?
You know,
But the side piece that has down,
Goes
Mill
from the Legion, from the Life Center.
That whole piece.
It'd be like a phase two.
So everything else stays, all the landscaping, everything else stays, huh? We're called
Yep,
landscaping.
except for that whole side piece. For the time being. See what this looks like.
Then you have landscaping and everything, right?
Yep. I mean, if we want to talk about maintenance, there's trees that should honestly be cut down that, I think there's some bad repairs over there. Those should be cut, eliminated. Those are invasive. Trash.
Beautiful tree,
I don't care.
I get rid
They're
of
trash.
beautiful blue.
So,
The wind blows
And
it.
you go out there and take care of it.
and elm, it's not gonna be a big deal. And it'll take years anyways. So, I say just leave that side piece off, like I said. And that can be phase two, if you want to do it later.
I have a question. When, because you obviously haven't been involved. So when was the decision made for the, side piece to be put onto it? I mean,
Last month.
that just last month that came up from the no
No,
park?
it was brought up a few months
Few
ago,
months
but I,
Whenever we
few months
passed it.
ago.
Was that the first time that it came on was the, because I'm just asking to make sure, it wasn't something that's talked about before I came on board.
Because we discussed that it hadn't been updated, that the Persian Gulf
Okay.
Stone doesn't have an end date, that I'm the one that's taking care of it for free
I remember talking about
and
that.
all that.
I was,
That was that
that's the
meeting.
very first time
That
that's
was
been
it,
brought
yeah.
up.
You said you got motions, did you, I hear you say
Yeah,
that?
I made a motion.
No second to that motion that I see. That motion will fail, I assume. Yeah, any other motions or else we will move on?
I'll move, the, plan as. shown to-
Plan is what?
The plan for the monument is here on the picture.
We did that last month.
Talked about. Pardon?
No, it's been adjusted. We fixed the line for landscaping and made it smaller,
requested.
as you requested.
Okay, it did change a little bit, you're right.
So I move as move, the lines have been changed, as you request.
I'll second that.
Okay, to go with amended line change.
Mhm.
Okay, Carmen,
No.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
No.
Beard,
No,
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb,
No. Okay, it did not pass, so I guess we'll leave it like it is, right?
then she got her wish, that's the way it was. Your motion passed and then the long haul.
All right, thank you very much.
Would
Alrighty,
anybody like to see what's down at the Life Center?
Yeah, I would, because I don't,
And you can see where some of the writing's gone, where there's no date for the Persian Gulf, and of course,
There's two stones that are.
we're adding Afghan and Iraq.
And they'll be cleaned. Pyramid Marble will come and get them and clean them and bring them back to set them.
And that cost will be split with all of us at the Legion, men, the sons, and the auxiliary.
so these roll down in the ground then, huh?
Yes.
They're set down on the rock in the landscaping. They're
You
not
can
on
see
the
it's-
concrete.
And you can see that it's not
I haven't seen it for a while,
been
sure.
maintained.
That's a nice monument.
And that's the color of the stones you're getting now, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's just black.
Except for the bottom, that has that dark gray black, and the bottoms of ours are the color of the wrinkles. But the stone matches ours. They'll re-white all of the stars and the lettering.
And then everybody's name that will be on the ones in the courthouse is anybody that's even served.
Anybody.
Yeah.
If they've been on, this is literally what I've told everybody. If they've been on someone's couch for 3 days in Cumberland County, they're eligible to be on that They've moved here, they're on it. If they moved away, they're on it.
It's crazy. It's gonna do.
If
I mean,
they're,
we've signed our daughter up for it.
right,
So, I
if they're
mean-
buried here, they're
Not
on it.
against it, I'm just
No, no,
Trying
it's
to
any, I mean,
eliminate
literally, that way there's no
expense
question.
and
There's,
time for the county, that's all I'm
no,
trying to do.
it's anybody that's been here at any time.
That's fine.
And then the center stone, of course, is Gold Star Killed in Action.
Who's that?
Same thing, but yeah.
Who's theirs?
Yeah, there's,
Okay. End of discussion, okay? All right, next order of business is, Big Howard.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to point out, one of the bills in the treasurer's report is, for work comp. We had our audit and we owed a little bit more this year than normal, $6,061.97. So I just wanted to point that out. It's in your book, you can look at that. Other than that, I just need a motion to approve the county clerk and tax redemption reports for April 2023.
Make a motion.
second. Janet second. Yeah.
As a dead tie,
Blake,
yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jenny Maynard,
I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report for April 2023.
I'll make it.
Second,
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
yes.
Holcomb.
yes.
All right. Next, I need a motion to approve the JV report for December 22 through April 23. Anybody have any questions on that? That's a new report that's due to audit. We're trying to strengthen
Has
some
your office
procedures.
been doing this report all along?
Yep.
Just not bringing it to the board?
Right.
Okay.
They just want to know, the auditors just want to know that the county board has full control. And by bringing it in front of you to make a motion, that satisfies them that you have full control.
I'll make that.
Has anybody looked at it?
Real interesting reading.
I just got mine.
Yeah.
We get one every month, right now?
You'll get one every month. It'll be no bigger than the treasurer's
I feel like
report.
a congressman or
That
senator.
is 5 months worth.
Pass it to read it.
Just read it.
That would help a lot. We just have 1 month. at a
Yeah.
time.
Second,
We have a second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
And the last thing, so we levy for ISIT funds, which is what takes care of our work comp liability insurance. As Bev just spoke about, we just got that $6,000 bill for work comp. We still have our other half of liability and work comp to pay for the year. We do it in 2 installments. My problem is I don't have enough funds in ISIT to pay that bill. So my question to you is, I know we always talked about borrowing from general fund to be able to compensate for other accounts that we do levy for, but I need your permission to be able to do that to pay this bill. What I am missing, we would be short $14,332.49 is what we are short in ISIT to be able to pay for our liability.
What would happen if we didn't pay it?
We're not covered.
Okay, so
I
we
mean-
have to. Yeah.
Then we need
But I need your permission to be able to borrow from general fund as a board to be able to pay for those funds. Because those are, ISIT is levied funds.
But you know, we
And
kind
we
of
are
used
out.
some of the reserves in the liability and work comp funds over the last few years. So that's why they are down.
And then anytime there's a claim, we have to pay those deductibles out of it. Now, there was kind of a padding in it. And so we just weren't levying as much in it, trying to, keep costs down, keep levy rates down, keep all that down. Well, now it's caught up with this.
Alrighty.
Make the motion to give permission to borrow from the general fund to pay for the workman's comp liability insurance
And deductibles.
and deductibles.
Because I may have more deductibles before we get our distribution in
So why are you
July.
wanting I mean, is the wording just because you want the wording as the loan? Or can we just give general fund money to cover that account?
General fund is giving ISIT money, giving our liability money. So your money is coming from your corporate levy versus
I
going
realize
over
that, but
to
you're
your
saying you're
ISIT.
borrowing,
You are
as if you're
borrowing.
gonna pay it back.
That'll be my question in August, once the distribution has been
Okay,
done.
because it won't be
I
paid
will-
back.
I will come back to the board to ask for a motion, whether you want it
So I
paid
ask for
back or
permission.
you don't.
Like I said, mom and dad for some money. They ain't coming back.
That's my assumption, but I still have to ask.
So now, are we going to have to do this on a regular basis?
No,
now?
if
It's
you
just a
pass it
one-time
now, then it will take care of everything up until we would get our first distribution, which will happen at the end of July. And then that will cover whatever we have. I won't say I won't have to come back next year to do it again, depending on where we fall, but, and where you guys levy at.
We need to levy a little
December.
more to cushion it next time.
Make the motion for approval.
You want to second it?
Oh, somebody make it?
He made it.
Yeah, I'll second it. Sorry, I didn't hear it.
I even worded it all out.
That is right.
Blade,
It's not
Yes.
professional.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Okabrick.
Yes.
And my final is, just to let you know, Bev did roll taxes to me. At the end of April, bills will go out May 22nd. Due date is July 7th, September 8th. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Jenny. Very good. Okay, next we need, Dick Murray's not here, but we need to pay his bills. We need a motion to approve highway bills for April 2023.
Question on that. They got a line item on there. It says Charles Herman Trucking.
Yeah, I see that too.
That's
Three
not-
sisters.
That's non-existent. So that line item needs to be changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
I think it's in the system as
Well,
Three
right, 'cause I
Sisters,
saw- we
but
saw-
it's doing business as
Okay.
Charles Herman Trucking is what their W-9 says.
Who's doing business as
It
Charles?
says Three Sisters Logistics, but then it says doing business as Charles Herman Trucking.
Really?
Is what their W-9 says. So unless they have a new W-9,
So you're gonna get the tax. You're gonna get the 1099.
That should be changed.
yeah,
It's
so if
Three
you have a new
Sisters.
W-9, please let me know.
What? As Three Sisters
That's Tammy did, and that's what she was sent.
recently.
I would say last year when they switched it all over. But we can sure ask again.
Yep.
Okay. I will make a note to do that.
Let's go ahead and pay this bill, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was Three Sisters. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was.
That'll work.
Make motion.
I made a motion. Layton.
Second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Okabrick.
Yes. Okay. Then the next is, Sherry Rotary.
I just wanted to tell the board that Julie Bishop, our licensed environmental health practitioner, resigned. And so we are going to be looking for an LEHP or someone with 30+ hours of science from an accredited college or university. And then we would have to contract with another LEHP for that coverage of that person until they become an LEHP.
Okay, you lost from who or what?
Julie is a licensed environmental health practitioner.
Yes.
She accepted a job at Eastern. And so, for right now, I will be covering environmental. That's my job. Move on.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
How you got, Sherry? At all? Hi, Sherry. Rhonda Wilson, not here, is she? Okay, Mackenzie Easton is not here.
But we have.
We do have something to do for her.
Very good point.
Okay, we motion to reappoint Joe Mock and Bob Donspot to the Board of Review for a 2-year term.
Make it.
Second.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Okabrick.
Yes. Okay, next is Steve Marine,
I have nothing.
Brian Robbins.
Okay, so I put on the budget amend, or on the agenda amend the state's attorney's budget. I've spoken to Floyd, Kyle, and Todd Beard all individually. So really what it comes down to is the legislature keeps piling things on prosecutors that we have to do in each and every case. Bond, you guys have all heard about the new bond laws, what we used to fill out. When I started, somebody came into custody, I'd fill out about a page, put in a recommended bond, attach the officer's 48-hour affidavit, send it to a judge. If it's on the weekend, we'd send it to Coles. If it was here in Cumberland, we just hand deliver it to the judge. He'd sign off on it. If he thought the bond needed adjusted, he'd adjust it. Of course, now, as everybody knows, we have to get a hearing set up, a judge, the court reporter, circuit clerk, public defender, exchange documents, pretrial services gets involved as a report. We have to review the report and then have an in-person hearing all within 48 hours. Offers, when I first started, were a one-line email. Now Judge Braden, State's Attorney Braden, gave me an example. Here's my offer, and he included about 3 assessments. Now we have to do a 2-page sentencing order and a 2-page financial sentencing order for every case that goes in front of the judge, which are about 2 banker's boxes a week. So used to be we could just send meth to the lab. Now, if it's in a pipe or in any kind of paraphernalia, we have to do a letter for each one of those. We have to send out victim letters now. If somebody's a victim of a violent crime, they get a letter every time the case goes to court. So that's just, all this stuff is just death by 1,000 cuts. All this stuff takes just a few minutes a piece, but when you pile it all on and you're doing 200-300 cases a year, it's adding up. Used to be the circuit clerk while we were in court would do the arrest warrant, summonses and notices. If somebody doesn't show up for court to get an arrest warrant, court just did it. Well, now we have to draft them ourselves, get the judge to sign them, which means that my one office assistant is sitting in the court with me on Monday mornings while nobody is in my office to greet anybody that comes in or has to come in and show insurance or whatever they need to do in there. The office is completely unmanned. Phones are not answered while she's in there writing down who gets warrants. Spends a couple hours after that anyways drafting them to get them signed. And also, I guess to top that off, state's attorneys starting to get involved in litigation, which personally I'm happy about, but again, it's just something that takes time. The other thing that I've talked to those 3 individuals about is adding an investigator to my office. So what I'd like to do is get somebody that's just focus on investigations. They would work for me. So what I would like to see happen more often is going after the dealers rather than the users. If you're a user and get caught with personal use, first time is first offender probation. Second time is regular probation. The third time is drug court probation, generally speaking. So we're talking, if they go one right after the other, it's 6 years of probation. If they space them out, generally it's 10 years. And then after the 4th one, we may be looking at maybe a Department of Corrections sentence, but most likely by then they've wised up and they're not considering searches anymore, and we're not finding them. And those are the dealers. Those are the guys that are sitting in their houses, drugs in our community. I'd like to do that. Also, there's some other specialized kind of areas. If we have somebody that we want to focus on, we can send him on it. He can go out and do the interviews and do those investigations. Sat down with Floyd, showed him the budget, what I think it would take to fund all this, and it would be about $25,000 to get through the rest of the year. So that's my proposal. I'll leave it to you guys for discussion, or if you want to put it to a
What was the dollar figure?
25,000.
25,000. Do you have a breakdown between the secretary and the private investigator?
Seems like you wrote that down for. Did you take that with you?
Well, the investigator's like 15 or 16,000 per, no, well, that would be for a year. Number of members for a year. And I was just talking part a half a year to get us to the end of the year. To mind our budget for next year. Oh, I figure $20 an hour for 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
This year.
We did the math, and I think they wrote it down on a different piece of paper to bring it. So yeah, he would be paid $20 a week, average 15 hours a week. And then we took Lisa's salary, knocked it down some, because this would be I'd say a level of responsibility and notch down from what Lisa does. So we just notched her salary down to what a normal courthouse worker would make, and then cut it in half because we're halfway through the budget.
You asked for an increase of 25,000.
Any more questions? I'll go first. You want me?
Okay, and how many people you got working now? I mean, you just said that you had one?
I have
You have
one.
1.5.
We have one, Terry McMeekin comes in on Tuesdays and works one day, and she mainly, so Monday morning and Tuesday morning are a big calls. That's when everybody comes in, get addressed on a new charge, comes in and please that day, and we do all the documents and exchanges. So those are our big days. It's usually, like I said, it's a banker's box for each day. And what she does is when we bring those banker's boxes back, she puts them all back in the file cabinet, 2 boxes, and then she folds the 2 boxes for next week. At least it
Okay,
does.
so you've got one full-time and one day.
One day. Yep.
And then you wanting to bring someone in for an extra couple days, you understand that, part-time?
Well, full-time is what I would
Oh,
like
another
to do.
full-time, so
Yeah,
you'd have 2 full-time.
right. I have 2 full-times.
So the 25K is gonna turn into 50,000 the next year
Would, yes.
or more.
Maybe, yeah. It could be more, it could be less. We could find out that the investigator doesn't need as many hours as we thought. We've got an extra person that's twiddling their thumbs. I highly doubt that, but yeah, it would double next year.
Let you go, Kyle.
I would like to see the state's attorney work with the sheriff's department for private investigator.
It's not a private investigator, it's a state's attorney's investigator, private investigator.
okay.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, so I think that should be something that sheriff's department can do. And I don't know if you guys have or haven't worked together on discussion on, you know, what you're explaining is you're trying to go after the head instead of the users.
Yeah.
And,
Well, sure.
and I'm totally for that. I mean, absolutely for that. I totally agree with that.
The sheriff used to have a drug investigator, but that position, that guy retired, and I think nobody applied for the position, if I remember right.
You don't have anybody on the drug task force, really? Do they not provide that program anymore?
No, they do. They more or less kicked us out because at that time, according to them, that we were not giving them enough business. But if you look, you read in the paper every week, we're arresting 3 or 4 people for possession of meth, but that's just possession.
Arrest and a conviction, though, is 2 different things. Are they getting convicted?
Well, they can have
yeah.
first, second, and
Yeah.
third offenses and basically get slapped on the hand.
Yeah,
Well, I
we're
was told.
convicted. I mean, very few of those cases don't end up with a conviction. Like, who's going to say no to first offender probation? And those guys, they don't take them to trial because it's first offender probation. If you do the probation successfully, the case is dismissed. It's just like supervision when you get a traffic ticket. So it's a deferred judgment, so there's never a judgment of conviction. You finish the 2 years and you're done. There's no conviction of your record. And just learned a few things. Your next time, there was a conviction with probation. Generally speaking, there are obviously variables, but this is somebody with a generally clean record.
I guess, Steve, would you be open to the idea of working with Brian and
Manpower. You don't have manpower.
you don't have the manpower? You guys have had a surplus in tickets wrote, or I guess you don't have enough manpower to,
Not enough manpower to just
Delegate.
just to do one job in that particular area. You're talking interviews, you're talking surveillance. My guys cannot do that. Don't have the time.
And they get pulled away. Right? So
Oh, absolutely. So I may have a guy interviewing somebody and then they get called to go to an accident or a domestic or something like that. So
if you're sitting on a house, as soon as you get called away, that's when the person you're waiting for to leave the house leaves.
Are you full staff now?
I'm full staff, yes. I mean, if you want to give me another guy for just.
Well, no, my question was, I remember you
I'll
sitting,
take it.
I remember you sitting at the end of the table saying that, when we was doing the budget, you know, that he's gonna have deputies on the interstate. You wanted, you know, the extra deputy, so we gave you the extra deputy and the budget and stuff, and I don't know. Are we generating a lot more revenue for tickets? Or?
I think not right now, yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any figures.
Well, that's what I was wondering about, but
I mean, we're definitely writing more tickets.
have you been on the interstate?
Not recently because of the, well, yes and no.
I'm figuring you'd be maybe out there a lot more now than
Yes,
you would
we
have.
are, yes.
Okay.
Can I make this motion? Not a lot of money to give it a try.
I'll make the motion.
Work 6 months or a year and a half, and if it ain't done any good, we can always drop it. We're not locked into a contract or anything, Brian. That's what I like about it, not locked into a contract with a union or anything, Brian.
I'll second, because we need to get those drugs under control at all costs.
We're making a motion to increase his budget by 25,000.
I like that's the motion, yeah. Increase the budget by $25,000.
Yeah, but you're not just taking, you're doing two things here. I mean, you're hiring an extra employee that we're gonna be paying work comp and all the extras.
It'd be double next year.
And it's gonna be more than 50,000 because, it's gonna be a lot more. So what you're doing is you're hiring a secretary today, and a very small amount of that's gonna be for a private, or not a private, a state's attorney's, investigator.
We do have a motion and a second.
Okay,
Yes.
Beard,
No,
Slade,
Yes.
Harmon,
No.
Layton,
Yes.
Overbreak.
Yes. Motion carried. Motion carried. What's the next thing you got, Brian?
Was a motion, was a motion to pay,
An invoice for liquor hearing transfer.
Yep.
transcription?
Kyle, you don't have that figure on you yet?
$572.
That's our half? That's
No, that was total. So.
All right, so sorry about that. I didn't have that prepared. Thanks.
That's for the liquor hearing transcript.
Mm-hmm. What is 572 on double check?
572 divided by 2.
5 cents divided by 2. I don't trust my handwritten math.
Who's paying the other half?
Yeah.
They're cheap.
Really?
$286. We can handle that.
We'll get it to them, and then they've already paid their half. And they are advertising as well as a strip club.
Should be
So the next one will be,
Yeah, they're hiring,
yeah, I think they've
They got a
got,
sign out there?
on Facebook, I think.
No taxes are due, better get that vacation out.
It's an interest in Effingham that sends the people up. So they're employee potential.
Okay, we'll pay this invoice. Want to make the motion?
Would you say that total was real quick? Because I found it in the mail. It was 570.
Oh,
That's
that's
nice.
570.
So it'd be 285 per half.
Make the motion.
Motion by Todd Layton. Second.
I'll say it.
Oh,
Okay. Beard,
yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Overbreak.
yes. Motion carried. Anything else, Brian?
that's all I have.
Jonathan Braden's not here. Steve Sherwood is not here. Joe Boat is not here. Michael Martin, not here. Mark Howard, anything else, Mark?
Good, thank you.
All right. Mike Black, he done left and said with his piece, so.
And I got something about buildings and grounds.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been contacted by, our buildings grounds. And also, I think, been contacted by some department heads talking about, him running out of hours. Maybe you've been talked to too, since you kind of talked about that. But, back when we had, Mr. Morgan, we had his boy also helping during mowing season and stuff like that for them to both stay under the hours. So, he's talked about maybe bringing his boy in. He's 21 years old, and I think he said that maybe $15 an hour for him.
Mitch Howard's son.
Son, yes. So
Okay.
it'd be kind of the same setup we've had with the Morgans.
I like that idea.
And he's looking at maybe, he said maybe 5 hours a week during the season, mowing season. If we don't get rain, he may not be working at all, but we want to keep him under the 1,000 hours unless you guys want to put him on full time.
No, we like,
He may not even want full time.
we like this $1,000 for
See, I'm
horses, $1,000 horse good.
So anyway, I told him that I would talk to you guys, and of course, we can't really do anything tonight, but, I was all for it. I don't know what you guys thought.
We do need a little more help.
Needs help, yeah.
I think. And he's variable. If you need a lot of help, it's going to show up a lot. If you didn't need any, he's variable. Sounds like a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
You want to have that yard mowed by next weekend? God forbid it be too tall for the people walking during spring festival.
Chocolate down.
So, well, and like picking up those, sweet
Yep.
young balls. So anyway,
You gotta do that.
I know, the last time that they actually hired, the Morgan boy, they did it through a motion. Didn't know if that was something that needed to be done this time, or just tell him to fill out his W-9 form and.
You're wanting to, you've already got the money to hire the guy.
He come from up.
It's gonna have to be coming out of the general fund, just like what we're doing now out of the maintenance.
Operation and maintenance, come out of operation and maintenance, wouldn't it?
It's general fund.
That's general. Fund. Oh, all right. All right. Well, we can't do it this meeting with him. We'll put the motion on the.
No, we can't make a motion, but I mean,
Oh,
if everybody's kind of in agreement, I didn't know if they could just go ahead and have him start working,
I can look into that, but I would say my gut says, yeah,
start working.
you don't need a motion to hire somebody.
That's what I thought, yeah.
oh, yeah. Talk to Todd and.
I'll call him tomorrow and tell him that, everybody was in agreement with $15 an hour and try to stay within the maximum 5 hours a week.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
See what happens.
All right, anything else? Got all, Todd?
Yep.
All right. Where was I at?
Under ratify payment of the manual bills.
My body was gonna discuss, Amy here, that's all right, just motion to discuss and approve bills and payroll. Where am I at? Ratify, made motion to ratify payment of manual bills in the amount of $48,922.32.
Make the motion.
Need a second on that?
Second.
Blake,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Now I need a motion to approve the payment of invoices. Amount of $166,557.92.
$111,000 of that, almost $112,000 of that is for liability work comp. Check,
By what?
liability work comp check.
Make the motion.
Second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Which one was it? Yes, yes. That's the dollar amount we want. 160, gotcha. Okay, now. Next, I need a motion to approve payroll number 7, the amount of $94,074.03.
Make it.
Second,
Layton,
yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Wolfenberg.
Yes. I need a motion to approve payroll number 8 in the amount of $103,165.34.
So moved.
Second,
Kay,
Yes.
Beard.
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
yes.
Wolfenberg.
Yes. Okay, that's the bills. So now I need a motion to go into closed session to review the past closed sessions minutes.
Motion. Second.
Beard.
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Wolfenberg.
Yes.
Okay. Negotiate on the rates.
I said, "What cost you guys?" I know you care, because I don't pay you that much.
Need a motion to open, to return to open meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Wolkenberg.
Yes. Now I need a motion to open the following and close minutes.
Dates.
Okay, the dates are February 9th of 21, January 5th of 22, February 8th of 22, February 22nd of 22, March 23 of 22, September 13 of 22, September 20, 22, and October 5 of 22. That makes 8, correct? 8 different, if you want to open those up, okay? Motion, okay?
Make it.
Second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard.
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Wolkenberg.
Yes. Okay, now I need a motion to adjourn meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a motion to go back into open session?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We did. You
Yeah.
really don't.
Sorry.
Make that case for that.
Second.
Yeah.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Yes.
Blake,
Oops, sorry.
Harmon,
Gotta get home.
Wolkenberg.
Yes. Meeting closed about 8:30.